It was Christmas time in London. There was a man named Scrooge. He was a hard working man, but at the same time he was a miserable, greedy, cruel and stingy person who didn't know what generosity meant. A day before Christmas, Scrooge and his clerk Bob Cratchit were working in the office. Scrooge, as always, was counting his money, while Bob was counting the minutes to go home to his family.
I am so cold in this office, but Mr. Scrooge doesn't want to turn on the heater. He says that it's a waste of money.
Suddenly, the front door opened, and Mrs. Scrooge's nephew came inside.
Merry Christmas, Uncle!
Christmas? Bah, Christmas is only a lie.
You don't mean that, Uncle.
Of course I mean that. Christmas is just an excuse not to work. Besides, what reason do you have to be happy? You are so poor.
Come on, Uncle. And what reason do you have to be sad? You're so rich.
Bah.
Don't get angry, Uncle.
Have a nice day.
As you wish, Uncle. And Bob, have a Merry Christmas.
I wish the same to you. Goodbye.
Then Mr. Scrooge's nephew left the office.
Sir, I have finished copying all the letters and filled the paperwork. I also brought in more firewood and shipped out the ashes. And well, it's closing time, Mrs. Scrooge.
Fine. If your work is finishing, you can go now.
Mrs. Scrooge, tomorrow is Christmas, a day to spend with the family.
You'd like the day off, I suppose.
Well, yes, Mrs. Scrooge, after all, it's Christmas.
Christmas? Bah, fine. Take tomorrow off, but be here early the next day.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas, Mrs. Scrooge.
Humbug.
Scrooge opened the door, and Cratchit went home. Then Scrooge returned to his desk to finish his accounts. After a few hours, Scrooge closed his accounts books and proceeded to close the office. When he got home, he climbed the steps to his bedroom, set the chair beside the fire, and started to eat his supper. Suddenly, he heard the old bells ring, and a strange and loud noise coming from the outside.
Who's making that noise?
But the strange noise continued until he saw a ghost coming through the bedroom door.
I think I'm dreaming.
No, this is not a dream.
What do you want from me?
I want a lot from you. Do you see these chains? I'm chained to my signs.
What's it? You were a hard worker and a good businessman.
Listen well, Scrooge. Free spirits will visit you. The first will arrive tomorrow, when the clock strikes 1, except the second on the next time, a night, and the same hour, the third on the next night, and the last stroke on the 12th hour.
Then the ghost left the room, floating through the window. Scrooge closed the window and went to bed, shaking in a fear, and fell asleep. Next day, when the clock struck 1, Scrooge saw a strange creature beside his bed.
Where are you? I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Get out of bed and come with me.
The ghost took Scrooge through the town. It was a small town which Scrooge started to remember. He then remembered the houses, the church, the river, the bridge, and the people.
Look, the school is not empty. There's a little boy alone, forgotten by his friend. I know him, poor boy.
Now, let's see another Christmas.
Then they revealed 2 hours.
This house is familiar. Oh, this is my house where I grew up.
Yes, it is. And do you recognize that little boy sitting around reading?
It's me, as a child. But why am I? Why is he alone?
You must know the answer.
Because my parents were working. That is why I was always alone. That is why my Christmas were so sad and lonely. Take me back.
Then the clock struck.
No, Ebenezer, it wasn't a dream.
I suppose you are the ghost of Christmas present.
Yes, I am. I'm the ghost of Christmas present. I have much to show you. Hurry, we cannot be late.
There were many people shopping for last-minute gifts. The stores were still open. People were cooking their best meals, and the bells from the church were striking. Everybody was attending church wearing their best clothes. Everybody was happy.
Everybody looks so happy.
Yes, they are. It's Christmas. What did you expect?
Do you mean that they all are happy just because it's December 25th?
Yes, today they can forget their problems and just enjoy being with their families. They just enjoy the food on their tables and the many blessings they receive.
Then the ghost took Scrooge to Bob Cratchit's house. Then Scrooge saw Bob Cratchit playing with his children, 3 boys and 2 girls.
Is this where he lives?
Of course, with this salary, this is all he can afford.
Then Mrs. Cratchit entered into the dining room, carrying a small turkey on a platter.
They look so poor. Their clothes are so old.
Love is what you can feel here.
Bob Cratchit lifted the youngest boy from a chair in the corner and carried him to table. The boy was pale and thin and carried a crutch.
What's wrong with him? Why doesn't he walk?
He's very sick. His name is Tiny Tim and his parents don't have money for a doctor, so maybe he will die.
Die? But there must be something that can be done. Please tell me if he will die.
I see an empty chair in the corner. If the future is not changed, he will certainly die.
No.
What do you care anyway?
Mrs. Scrooge, thanks to Mrs. Scrooge. We are having this dinner.
I wish I could see him to thank him personally.
Dear children, it's Christmas.
I know, darling. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Let's have a toast for our Christmas and for Mrs. Scrooge. Merry Christmas and God bless us.
The room disappeared, and they continued their journey. Then the ghost of Christmas present was gone.
Oh, I'm in my own bed again.
As he sat up, another ghost floated into the room. He was dressed in black and a dark hooded face.
Where are you? First came the ghost of Christmas past, then the ghost of Christmas present. You must be the ghost of Christmas future. Are you here to show me the future and how it can change?
Then the ghost said nothing. He just gestured toward the door. Scrooge followed him to the street in front of his office. 3 men stood out front, talking and shaking their heads.
I know them. I do business with them. We are friends. There's men like me, even if my own nephews does not. But what are they saying about me?
Poor old Scrooge.
I know, I feel sorry for him.
They told me he's very sick.
Who's taking care of him?
No one. You know that he always likes to be alone.
He doesn't have friends either.
The ghost started walking Scrooge, followed him down the street. Then they arrived to a tiny house.
You have been here before. This is Cratchit's house.
The ghost followed Scrooge into the bedroom. There was Mr. Bob Cratchit sitting beside his son's bed. He was very sick.
Why is he crying? The last time I was here, they were so happy.
Sleeping in bed was the little king, but was thinner and very tall. Mr. Cratchit came into the bedroom.
Darling, what are we going to do? Did you ask Mrs. Scrooge for help?
Yes, but he can't help us. But his nephews will help us.
I hope it's not too late. What will we do without our son?
Why? Tell me, what's wrong with the little boy? Is he going to die? What can I do to help him? Please, talk to me.
The ghost did not answer. Then everything turned dark, and Scrooge appeared in a foggy and cold place.
Where are we? It's a cemetery. Why do you bring me here?
The ghost showed Scrooge a grave.
Before I get near that grave, tell me, is that the image of the future?
The ghost did not answer. Then Scrooge went to see the grave.
No, ghost, listen to me. I have changed. Why do you show me all this if I have lost of hope? Please tell me that I can change everything that you have shown me. I will honor Christmas in my youth. I will live in the past, in the present and the future. I will not forget the lesson that all of the ghosts have told me. Oh, please tell me that I can erase my name from the grave.
In his anguish he took the ghost's hand, but the ghost rejected him, and Scrooge woke up in his bed.
Oh, thank you. I have been given another change. I don't know what they say today, or how long I have been with the ghosts. I feel like a child, but I don't care. I want to be a child again.
Then he heard the church bell striking. Then he saw a boy in the street and shouted.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, you there. What day is it today?
It's Christmas, sir. Christmas morning.
Good, I haven't missed it.
Then he pulled out a bag of money. He tossed a handful of coins to the boy.
There's a big turkey in the butcher shop at the end of the street. Buy it and deliver it to the Bob Cratchit house.
But, sir, this is a lot of money.
Keep the change. Hurry up. The Cratchit are hungry.
Yes, sir.
Oh, little boy.
Yes, sir.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir, and Merry Christmas to you too.
Scrooge dressed in his finest clothes and headed toward his nephew's house. He was feeling really happy and excited. He waved everybody in the street and treated everybody nicely.
When Scrooge reached his nephew's house, his nephew was surprised to see him.
Uncle, I am happy to see you. I'm really glad that you changed your mind about Christmas dinner. Come and celebrate the holiday with us.
Yes, thank you for accepting me.
His nephew's wife set an extra place at the table.
We are happy to have you here. You arrived just in time for the turkey.
After dinner, Scrooge said a few words.
Thank you. I have never eaten a more delicious meal, but I have to go now. I have some other things to do and people to visit.
And Scrooge went to Bob Cratchit's house. Mrs. Cratchit opened the door. She couldn't believe her eyes when she saw Mrs. Scrooge standing in front of her.
Oh, Mrs. Scrooge, what a surprise! I want to thank you for the wonderful turkey.
It was a pleasure for me.
Mrs. Scrooge, please come in.
Cratchit, you have worked long hours without complaining for many years. I'm giving you more money.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Scrooge. You are so generous.
Merry Christmas.
Scrooge did more than what he said he would do. He took care of Tiny Tim as a second father would do. Some people laughed to see how he changed, but he didn't care. Scrooge never saw the ghost again, but he had many friends and was always close to his family. Each time he had a meal with his friends and family, he would say,
God bless